Okay, welcome back. And we have already know that there are two types of statistics. The one is descriptive statistics, another is inferential statistics. And descriptive statistics is to describe the data. How to describe the data? We need to organizing and presenting the data. So what is the process of organizing or presenting a set of the data? So first, what are the questions? What is our question? What is our problem? We need to be clear about our questions. And then, based on our questions, we need to decide the ways to collect the data. Whether we need primary data or we need secondary data. And then, once we get this data, we need to organize the data. We can use the table or we can use the chart to organize data, to present data. Based on these charts or the tables, we can get the general picture about this data, or we can get the general features about this data. And then we can draw the conclusion about a set of the data, and then make a decision or answer the questions. So this is the basic steps for organizing and presenting the data. For organizing a set of data, one of the most widely used way to deal with a set of data is use the frequency distribution table. Frequency, that means we need to count the numbers that is often appeared. That is frequency, 频率. Distribution, distribute, 分布, distribution, frequency distribution table, 频率分布表. Maybe you are very clear about this table. So this table is called frequency distribution table. We can see the left column is the class. That is the periods of their for example, students' marks. And in the right column is a frequency. That means how many students are in their marks are in between the 10 to 15. So this is the frequency distribution table. How to set up such a table? We need to follow these steps. Okay, and the first, we get raw data. For example, the 20 students attended English test and they got a score. They're 20 students. This is the 20 students' original test score. The first step, if we want to set up a frequency distribution table, the first step is to sort the data in ascending order. What is ascending order? That means from the smallest value to the largest. Here, we sort this data from the smallest value, that is 52, the largest, that is 92. And then calculate the range. What is range? Range means the difference between the largest value and the smallest value. Here, the largest value is 92, the smallest value is 52. So the range is 92 minus 52 is 40. 40 is the range. The third step is decide the number of the data classes. Classes means 类别，类别就是一个等级。一级一级，比如说50分到60分是一个级别，60分到70分是一个级别。This is called classes. And how many the data classes we need to use? Well, here we need to calculate. We need to just decide based on how many data and based on what problem you deal with. Usually between 5 and 15 numbers of the data classes. Here, there are 20 students, we decide the number of the data classes is just 5. So we have sorted the data in ascending order. We have get the range is 40. We have already decided the number of the data classes is 5. Now next step is to find the width of each class of interval. 就是每一个级别的阶格，比如说40分到50分，我们是怎么知道40分和50分的？就是这样的。Here, what is the class interval? That is interval width. Interval width is the range divided by designed number of the classes. Here, the range is 40. The designed number of classes we choose 5. So it's divided is 8. For convenience, we choose 10. Why we choose 10? We don't choose 8. It is for convenience. Because when we arrange the students, the score from the smallest to the largest, we usually say that we say the students' level from the 50 to 60, from 60 to 70. This is for convenience. 就是说从50分到60分，60分到70分，70分到80分。我们很少说50到58分，59分到67分。So here it is we choose 10 for convenience, not round up to, 不是45。Okay? Now we decide the boundary or limits of each class. 那么每一个就是10。那么10呢，边界我们就从，因为最小的是52，所以我们就从50到60。那么50就是一个 low limits，60就是 upper limits，50到60就叫一个 class， 就是一个级，一个分数级，50到60，一个类，一个分数级。那么50呢，就是这个级的下限，60就是这个级的上限。So we can see, we decide the 5 classes. That is from 50 to 60, 60 to 70, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. That is 5 classes. For each classes, we need to decide the boundary or limits of each class, lower limit and upper limit. And finally, we count the frequency of each class interval and set up the frequency distribution table. 最后一步，我们看50分到60分有几个同学的分数在这个范围内，60分到70分有几个，也就是我们数的频率。Okay, so here we set up a frequency distribution table about the 20 students' English test score. So on the left column, we can see the class interval, 就是每一个级的阶格。You can see 5 classes from the lower limits to upper limits. In the right column, it is frequency 3, 8, 5, 3, 1. The total should be 20 because there are 20 students. So this kind of table is called a frequency distribution table. And from this table, we can see that almost half the students between 60 to 70. Only one student is between 90 to 100. And 3 students fail the exam. If we say that the 60 is the passing grade, so 3 students failed the exam. So from the table, we can easily see the features about 20 students' test score. So this is the frequency distribution table. Let's do a summary. This is another example of the frequency distribution table in Excel. You can see from the left to the right, it is class interval, it's the class boundary, and it's the class mark. And the class mark is original data, and this is the frequency. And the frequency, the total number of frequency is 50. That means there are 50 students. Okay, so you can see class interval is 5 instead of 10. Okay, so let's do a summary of how to how to set up a frequency distribution table. 6 steps. First, remember, sort the data in ascending order from the smallest value to the largest. The second, calculate the range. How to calculate the range? Range is the difference between the largest value and the smallest value. And then decide the number of the data classes, usually between 5 and 15. In our above the 2 examples, one is 5, another is 10. And then find the width of each interval. How to find the interval width? Is the range divided by designed number of classes. And then we choose the boundary or limits of each class, that is lower limits and upper limits. Finally, we count the frequency of each class intervals and then set up a frequency distribution table. So this is the way to set up a frequency distribution table. This is the way to organize a set of the data so that we can easily see the feature of this data. And we can make a decision. For example, we can see that generally speaking, for this, the students, we can say that for the 20 students, 17 students pass the exam. So that is give us a general picture about 20 students the test score. So this is the way, one way to organize a set of the data. We use frequency distribution table. We summarize the steps, 6 steps to frequency distribution table. You can use this 6 table to set up a frequency distribution table in doing some exercise to practice these skills. Okay.